right, good Monday morning, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here, joining you from our newsroom to give an update on the forecast, which I have a lot of good things to talk about this week. We don't have any severe weather in the forecast, and in fact, the weather today is almost like an extension of what we've had the past few days. You can probably already tell just by looking out the window how much sunshine we have here in South Mississippi. It's been a little bit on the chilly side this morning, but this afternoon we are warming right back up into the upper 70s on the coast. If you live north of I-10, you have a better chance of seeing the low to mid 80s. That's because you're going to be farther away from the cooler water in the Sound. We are going to be seeing a little bit more of a breeze today out of the south and southwest, maybe a touch breezy at times, but all in all, today pretty much gets another 10 out of 10 in my book. It will be a little bit more humid than what it was this weekend. Nothing like what we get in the summer months, but it may not be quite as crisp or refreshing this afternoon, but overall, it's really hard to critique today's weather with us being back into the upper 70s. Bright blue sky right now in Biloxi. We had a gorgeous sunrise to kick off the work week. Hopefully you got a chance to see that for yourself this morning. At least from this view, not a single cloud in the sky. You may have a few clouds here or there later today, but they will not be getting in the way of that sunshine. And while the sunshine is wonderful, the flip side is the UV index today is considered extreme. If I'm not mistaken, this may be the first time this season we've had an extreme UV index, and that's because the sun is getting higher and higher in the sky, especially by midday and into the afternoon, meaning that we're getting more of that direct radiation or those UV rays from the sun. And this happens every year, as we know. Once we get deeper into spring and closer into summer, we do see the sun getting higher in the sky. So chances are, if we have more days like this, which we will this upcoming week, the UV index is going to be considered extreme. What that means for you is if you're prone to getting sunburns, this could happen in as little as 10 minutes if you're going to be in that direct sunlight, especially from the time of about 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m. this afternoon. So if you have plans to be outside today, I do recommend lots of sunscreen, wearing a hat. Of course, you probably want your sunglasses as well with all this bright sunshine, and maybe even find a little shade at times just to give your skin a break from some of that direct sun. But otherwise, it's going to be a gorgeous day. Just take those precautions. Of course, don't want anyone to get too bad of a sunburn. If you are planning to take the boat out today, marine forecast looks really nice, expecting a little bit of a breeze out of the south and west over the Sound at 10 to 15 knots. Seas over the Sound a little higher than offshore today at 2 to 3 feet. Could even see smooth conditions offshore this afternoon. As for those tides, we are coming up on high tide later this morning into the early afternoon for Bay St. Louis. Low tide will be happening later this evening. Tidal range at about 1.5 feet up to 2 feet. Water temperature overall still a little bit on the cool side, all things considered, in the low 70s, but as we gradually get closer to summer, of course, the water temperature also going to be increasing as well. But we've had some cool mornings lately, keeping our water temperature in the Sound more so in the upper 60s and low 70s. So we've had an area of high pressure along the Gulf Coast the past few days. That's kept us nice and dry. Typically when we have a high pressure system, especially closer to the surface, we get that sinking air, and that prevents many clouds from developing. So that's been the case the past several days. That's the case once again today. As far as I can tell on satellite and radar across the Gulf Coast, things are very quiet. Now it has moved a little bit more to the east. We're getting a bit more of a return off of the Gulf over the water. So the humidity is going to be just a little bit higher today, but nothing like what we can get during the summer months. There will be a drop in the humidity again tomorrow into Wednesday, and that's because we have a cold front that's going to be working its way throughout the day on Tuesday. We don't really have a ton of moisture ahead of this front to give us much in the way of rain, but we will likely see a little bit more cloud cover tomorrow. And we can tell based off of the dew point where that cold front has set up, we're seeing dew points in the 50s and 60s along the Gulf Coast this morning. It's a little bit more humid than what we had this weekend, nothing terrible. Typically in the summer months, we get dew points in the mid to upper 70s, so we are nowhere near that, thank goodness. But behind the front, we see dew points in the 20s and 30s, and that drier air will be working its way in by the end of tomorrow and into Wednesday. You may notice that by the end of tomorrow and on Wednesday, it's going to be feeling a little bit more refreshing outside. But as for today, all things considered, it's still going to be really nice. High temperatures, upper 70s on the coast, low to mid 80s expected a little bit farther inland. It may not be quite as chilly tomorrow morning, more so looking at lows in the 50s and 60s. We'll notice an increase in cloud cover as that cold front gets closer to us. Behind the front, winds will be shifting out of the north. That will help to usher in that drier air, that lower humidity. And by Wednesday morning, a little bit of a chill in the air, or a big chill in the air if you're not used to it. We will see temperatures back into the upper 40s and low 50s. But by Wednesday afternoon, it's going to be another gorgeous day. High temperatures back into the mid 70s. It really does not get much better than that. Now, this lower humidity is not going to be sticking around forever. After all, we do live on the Gulf Coast, so we have a lot of that moisture in place and not too far offshore. And that higher humidity is going to be returning by the end of the week. But despite it feeling a little bit more muggy by the end of the week, our rain chances are still looking slim to none. There's a small chance that we could have maybe a stray shower or two on Easter Sunday, but for Good Friday, the Saturday before Easter, not expecting any rain. If you're going to be traveling around the area locally, I'm not anticipating too many issues. I will say on Easter Sunday, more so to our west and the parts of western Louisiana, East Texas, they may be seeing some showers and storms, but for us in southeast Louisiana and in South Mississippi, not really anticipating much rain, and the farther east you go, the drier it's going to be. So if you have plans to be in coastal Alabama, the Florida Panhandle this Easter Sunday, weather-wise, things are looking like they're going to be in pretty good shape. It may be a little bit breezy, though, at times for our Easter Sunday. I think the most noticeable difference is going to be that higher humidity by Friday and Saturday. That higher humidity sticks around into Easter Sunday, so it's going to be feeling a little bit more muggy at that point with dew points in the 60s and low 70s. But I'm already looking forward to Wednesday with that lower humidity. It will be chilly in the mornings, just like what we had this weekend, but the afternoon is going to be stunning. As for Good Friday, Saturday, Easter Sunday, temperature-wise on the coast, we're going to be in the upper 70s. Low 80s are looking likely once again north of I-10. It is going to be a little bit more humid, like I've been talking about this upcoming weekend. Rain chances overall still looking slim to none. Easter egg hunts this weekend are in really good shape as a whole. Easter Sunday may be a little bit breezy at times. I just can't completely rule out a stray shower that may be able to sneak in a bit from the west, but overall, really just not anticipating any rain whatsoever over the next 5, 6 to 7 days. Now, past Easter Sunday, it does look like our pattern will be changing back to a bit more rain, maybe some more showers and thunderstorms the following Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but we're still several days out from that. A lot of details to work out with our change in our weather pattern. But as for this week, really could not ask for anything better. Day in and day out, we'll see temperatures in the upper 70s, some low 80s sprinkled in here or there, a little bit farther inland. With the exception of Wednesday, I would say many of us are going to stay in the mid 70s that day. A bit of a chilly start in the morning, afternoon, nice and mild. So spring-like weather expected all week this week. I recommend soaking it up while it lasts, because before we know it, summer will be here and it will be extremely hot and humid. As we know, it comes every year, especially in July, August, and early September. So this week is going to be stunning. No severe weather to worry about, no rain to get in the way of any of your plans. I know a lot of people have Friday off. Schools are out for Good Friday. It should be a really nice day. And throughout Easter weekend, we may see a little bit more cloud cover, but overall your holiday weekend is looking pretty nice. Now, it's not going to be as refreshing in the mornings with temperatures back into the mid to upper 60s, but all things considered, I really don't have many complaints at all about our 7-day forecast. It does not get much better than this. So with that, I hope everyone can enjoy the beautiful weather today and throughout the rest of the week. I will have another forecast update coming up at midday today, but for now, I hope everyone has a beautiful and relaxing Monday.